podcast. I wanted to give you guys kind of an idea what this thing looks like out of the box. I remember when I first was exposed to this, I was trying to work with vendors to try to get a CRM demo in front of us, but like oftentimes it was like pulling teeth because like they would try to show us something that was built out like crazy, or all kinds of plugins they had to pay a bunch of extra stuff for, and it was like, dude, I just want to see like what we can expect right away. So I wanted to pull that up here, and I have a demo environment set up for you guys to be able to take a look at. And yeah, so right off the bat, we'll keep this super simple. Like, I don't want to go too in the weeds because it's really easy to fall into that. We're just going to do super like surface level kind of review here. So anyway, I haven't changed much. There's some minor things here and there, like the logo and some mild things in the background, which doesn't really matter. But regardless, we'll just start here. So actually, we'll start with the logo. So Dynamics, the only thing I changed really was just the logo and some back-end things, which you won't really need to worry about. So actually, starting with the logo, Dynamics used to have in the back end a really easy way to change themes, but they've since changed that, and now to do the logo change, it's like pulling teeth. And there's kind of a roundabout way of doing that, but it's still possible as it stands right now. But they're pretty good about making changes for the better, so I'm sure that'll pop back up before you know it. But typically it'll just say Dynamics 365 right there. And now that that's out of the way, next to that you see Sales Hub. This is a default app that's created when you first get Dynamics. It's super great. I wouldn't recommend this to be used for any sales reps. I would actually create a custom app for them, just because there's a lot of stuff in here that isn't pertinent and can be a major distraction. So very cool. Definitely think it's awesome, but I wouldn't recommend having that be their environment they're typically in. So anyway, in the Sales Hub, if you click on there, you'll see a list of all the apps that are actually out of the box. I think there's two in here that aren't typically part of this from out of the box, and that's Business Central and the Dataverse Accelerator app. Both of those are actually tied to my ERP. So if you don't have Business Central, you won't be seeing those. But other than that, all of these are also out of the box. So you can create custom ones as much as you want, but the ones here that are already made for you are customer service and sales. Those are mostly the focus of this of this platform. So they're slightly different, but very similar. So we'll open that new tab. We'll stick with Sales Hub on this one. None of this is relevant for you guys, but typically whenever you have, I'm making this more complicated. Basically, when a rep is in here, they won't see anything but the only app that they're allowed to see. So if I were a rep, I would only see Sales Hub. So super simple. All right, so I just want to show you the customer service one, just to show that it's dedicated specifically to customer service stuff, like their dashboard with all the things that are going on, anything that's queued, their activities, accounts, knowledge articles, super simple stuff. Service level. This is who handles managing your customers and complaints and great things. So super simple interface for them. Again, I can't help but say, I'm like, I tweaked that, but out of the box, this is pretty great. You won't really see much data in here, because I haven't populated that information, but anyway. Okay, so moving back to the sales side, which is the whole point of this. Sales Accelerator, this will show you a list of things that you're currently working on. So for example, in this case, I have a meeting scheduled for, meeting before the end of the year with this lead that I am working currently. And so it keeps me up to date with what's going on. So Sales Accelerator, it'll kind of keep you with your workflow that you have to do right in front of your face. So you log in, you pop open your sales. Oh, hey, I got to do that today. Okay, cool. And not only has it on here, but it's also synced with your Outlook calendar if you have Microsoft 365, which, gosh, I so recommend that if you're using Dynamics. It's an unbelievable amount of integration back and forth between the two platforms. So regardless, they'll be listed here for your activities that you're currently working through. Activities, yeah, super simple. That's exactly what it sounds like. Tasks you can create for yourself. This is mostly just reminders, for your things for you to execute, but they're not really tied to a calendar in any way. However, appointments are. So whenever I create an appointment here, it'll send an email to whoever I want to have as required, and it'll also add this to my Outlook calendar as well. So in the appointment, You can really go pretty bananas with customizing this. So you can even have like categories of appointments, like what kind of appointment this is, meeting, install, demo, whatever. You can have these options in here. It helps with tracking down the line, and also can help set up some workflows down the line for automation. You can add attachments to this meeting request as well. There's your times, duration, and whether or not it's going to be a Teams meeting, or could be a Teams meeting. Okay. So yeah, appointments, pretty straightforward. Tasks, and you don't even need to leave your leave dynamics to send emails actually. So you have email integration built into this thing. So you can manually create phone call events. So to remind yourself to call somebody, you just hit this, and you can create whatever you want it to be. Circling back on quote number call to, and this is going to go to this account that I'm working. Phone number, direction outgoing. Yes, I am expecting to call out, but if I'm expecting to come in, I can put that in there too. Description, we gon' chat regarding. You can even put the lead in here that you're working, but this is regarding. You put in the account. You can do whatever you want with that. You can filter down by hitting that. Choosing lead. Oh my gosh. There. All right, and then save. Okay. So that's been tracked. So if I need to make X amount of phone calls or whatever, this will keep track of that for me. So another neat thing about that is, so I have a phone call booked with this account. Yeah, I know. Okay. And that is actually tracked here in the timeline. So if I am monitoring this account, I will see the activity that's going on with this account. So for example, it looks like there's some meetings set and tasks set to be executed for this account, and a phone call. Great. Awesome. So it all rolls up through here. Let's see here. Lead. And then same thing here. I have that phone call. Since I logged it with that lead, it's going to be, I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm sorry. So anyway, that's phone call. Super simple. Letter, I don't know who this is for. But I shouldn't laugh because I just don't know. I haven't used this myself. I haven't met somebody who uses this, but it could potentially be useful if you guys are doing direct mail. So there is an option to do letters in here. Faxing, again, same thing. I'm not certain I've encountered somebody who uses this, but this is an option to log this type of activity. Service activity, you can have all kinds of stuff here. Now this is currently blank with the options here, but you can have, like, let's just say that whatever it is, customer was like, they stopped buying from you for 6 months. You can have a type of activity that you have scheduled, like, hey, after 6 months, meet with this person or whatever. You can have a time frame in place where this is just like reacquire a customer or whatever, or any kind of service activity that requires you to maintain the customer. Show time as requested. Put your time in there, notes, whatever you want to do. So you can save a service activity. Again, this is one of the more popular ones, but that's an option. Campaign, again, same with that. There's a bunch of other activities in here I haven't seen people use, but there is options in here. Another thing you can do too is you can create custom activities. So let's just say that these aren't really, cutting it. You can create your own custom one. So if you guys have specialized activities you perform that doesn't really fall into any of these, you can create your own and easily track it. So, bada bing. So yeah, activities, pretty self-explanatory. Dashboards. This won't be super useful out of the box until you import all your data from whatever systems you're working with. But this will be reflecting a bunch of charts and graphs and stuff like that. That'll be showing you, where you're at currently, what your pipeline looks like, how your people are performing, so on and so forth. It's pretty much like your gauge cluster on your car, so you can see like everything about your vehicle, which in this case your company. You can see it all right here, and you can create basically a limitless amount of these things. So almost to a fault, you can kind of slice and dice the data any way you want within Dynamics here. So super great, just to kind of keep a beat on the company and see how everybody's doing. You can feel the heartbeat right here. Accounts, yeah. Matter of fact, actually, so this whole sidebar can be reordered. So like if you want accounts to be at the very top, or you want leads to be at the very top, whatever you want to do, this can all be customized. It can all be changed. But out of the box, this is what this stuff looks like. So yeah, accounts is exactly what it looks like. So this one here was created manually, and this one here was created through my ERP syncing back and forth. The ERP has precedence over the CRM, but there is the option to have that go both ways. Anyway, within the account, yeah, man, super simple. It's everything you would expect to see, as well as all the activity that's tied to this account. So opportunities, leads, phone calls, like, whatever, it's all right there. And it'll carry over information that may or may not be syncing from Business Central. I'm sorry, from your ERP, whatever you're using. Nice little map. Woo. Details, this is just further information about the company. Yeah, see, this was brought over from a lead that was submitted. You can, break down, oh my gosh, yeah, you can break down and slice and dice these customers. The nice thing is, like, it's overwhelming, but like once you get into the pattern of just maintaining the accounts in a specific way, this really benefits the organization long term, because you can see, like, how many people are in the business services industry or accounting, whatever. Where's somebody consulting? These are all, let's see here. Doctor's office. So how many doctors you have on your accounts, or like, and how much revenue they're all generating, and where you should be focused on based upon that type of data. SIC code could be relevant if you're in that space. Ownership, again, you can put any of these things: private, public, subsidiary, whatever you want. Again, it has a value to some, not so much to others. If it's not an ERP account, this will not be auto-filled, but once it is, it will be pulling from your ERP. And this is just marketing, where it came from, with the campaign, last campaign that was involved, whether or not you're going to be sending marketing materials to them, and their preferences, shipping information, again, ERP information. Child accounts, that's like if, let's just say this is a headquarters account and I have branches, the branches would be listed here. Yeah, so this is where you store files. You would definitely benefit from the Microsoft 365 license, because when I say license, I mean the platform itself, because you can use things like SharePoint, which will store the documents on there, and basically gives you a limitless bit of information, versus here where there's limited amount of space to use, and I wouldn't recommend storing documents on here. But in this case, let's just say that you wanted to store like their whatever tax exempt form, you can put that in here if you wanted to, or anything else, quotes, proposals, whatever you got. Assets and locations, that's exactly what it sounds like. Any locations, you can add locations here. You can also add assets to the account if you'd like to, and it'll show them all here. Assets, that meaning like machines or equipment or anything like that. It could be financial too, of course. I'm not going to go. This is too much. This is too deep. That's definitely worth a conversation, but not in this video. Yeah, but related is basically anything that's tied to this, like, that you can see that's actually related to this account. Yeah, we're not going to go there either. There's a lot of depth here. I don't want to go bananas. I don't want to go too distracting and be too distracted with this stuff. Okay, so context, yeah, I mean, that's the whole name of the game here. Your customer relationship management, that's what CRM does, is managing your contacts. It's really easy to go bananas with, like, not bananas. It's really easy to get lost in which system is ideal for which. My point of view is, like, the CRM makes a lot of sense to have all of your contacts housed within. ERP is great, but that should be mostly focused on just account maintenance and things like that. If you need the contacts, all the contacts, that should be within the CRM. But again, there's no wrong answer there. If you want to store that within your ERP and sync them over, more power to you. So, yeah, nothing, just like the account, it's all basic information in here. All your contact information, details. You can go bananas with that, and of course every record that they're tied to is also listed here. So activities that are going on, leads or opportunities that they're tied to is also listed in their timeline of the account or the record here. Another thing here, so Copilot, if you're not familiar, is Microsoft's AI. It's love it or hate it, it's a really powerful tool that can really benefit a lot of organizations. In this case, the longer a record is live, the more valuable Copilot can become. So the more, let's just say, the more crap that happens that you execute with the customer, the more you can ask Copilot, like, hey, when was the last time this person paid late or whatever, and it'll tell you. So super simple, super handy. I definitely like it a lot. Yep, just further information here. Personal information, this is super great. Yeah, definitely here. These are great just talking points because it's impossible to remember everything about everybody. I mean, unless you have that mind. But like putting a note in here, like, Eagles, rock, big fan of this too. So like, in this case, next time I talk to them, like, oh, let me just warm up on this guy. Okay. Oh yeah, Eagles fan. That's right. And they just crushed it. Okay, cool. I talked to them about that or whatever. Oh, they lost. Oh, big surprise. Yeah, But it's an in with the customer to kind of remain in touch with them and to kind of save you from trying to rack your brain to remember where you left off with these guys. So it's a hugely beneficial thing to have your contact information like that in there. But it depends on the organization if that's something you guys want to pursue. Again, contact preferences, same as the account. Yeah, ERP stuff right there. Files, same as before. And just like accounts, there's a lot of depth to that. Leads. So in this case, leads can be created manually, but they can also be fed through your website forms or phone calls, whatever automation you have in place. In this case, this one was fed from the website. I just put a test lead in to do some testing. And so this one's here. So within the lead, so you can see all of the activities you have booked with this lead. You'll see again all their basic information that came over from the website. And this you can kind of go bananas with all the information you can capture through your website. There's a lot of hidden fields and stuff like that you can do. But again, another topic for another day. Let's just say that so who knows whom, I like this a lot. So who knows whom is really just it'll list out who in your organization knows this customer based upon their contact information. And it'll show them a rating of like a color grade of how well they know them, really well or not much. But at least gives you a starting point to maybe talk to somebody who knows this person in case you need an initial edge or context of previous contact. So yeah, notifications here. So stakeholders who's relevant to the deal here. Any competition that may be working this deal as well, you can list that there. Yeah. So basic information about the lead right here. You can kind of go bananas with this. And again, you can put notes in here to say where you left off or something that happened, like, hey, packet sent. Send over a packet about our products and services. They really loved it. I don't know. You can put any note in there, whatever you want. Or anything that happened, you can put that information there. All right, and then on the very top here, I purposely kind of went past this part, but the first thing you see is the customer's name and the lead source it came from, what the rating is, what the status is, things like that. All of which, like I said, this whole thing can be customized. That's one of the beautiful things about Dynamics is it gives you some structure off the bat. However, it also gives you the opportunity to build whatever you want. So if I don't care about the source here, I can put something else that's maybe more relevant there. Same with the rating here or the status, whatever. All of this can be swapped out for other items. And below that you have your lead to opportunity sales process. So this process that's out of the box, this is the process that runs basically, you get your lead, you go through the steps to qualify it, right? And then after you qualify it, you would hit next stage. It's going to be well, I don't know what that means. See, no opportunity found. So in this case, you would actually, once you say hey, this one's good, you would hit qualify because you just finished the qualification section. But let's just say, for example, if some customers like to have their company, have one person that handles leads when they come in from the website. And I get that. I think it makes sense. because you don't want to badger your salespeople with stuff that, like, you know, they don't have time to really nail down. So for example, if there's an inside sales assistant that you have, they would field all the leads. So if I get a lead from John and they only put his first and last name and his phone number, and then he put price question mark, and that's all the information he submitted, because that's the way the form was submitted, I would be like, well, that's not super helpful. So I have to call John and be like, hey, what's up? but in a better way, like actually giving him, like, you know, a chance to like explain, and we can kind of get together and link up and understand what exactly the needs are, and I can put that information in here. So that's kind of where that person would come in and field that initial contact. So then he or she could just enter that information they learn, do some research on Google, populate more fields if they possibly can, and, you know, save the record. And then I would reassign that. There's an assign button here somewhere. Yeah, assign, and you can change that to anybody that you want. So then that would just notify them that, like, hey, you got a new lead. Anyway, so let's just hit this line. This lead just assigned to me. I'm like, okay, well, this all looks good. Cool. All right, cool. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is definitely a good deal. And so I call the guy and have a chat with him just to circle back, even though, you know, I was given the information. Let's just say that I logged that, hey, I called them and this is what happened. And the rep can see, hey, okay, this is what they did. All right, cool. And they can make contact and they can be like, hey, I just heard that, blah, blah, blah. And pick up from there. Yeah, this guy is, you know, my qualifier is definitely right. This is a good lead. So I'm going to qualify this lead. And it'll basically create an opportunity. So it closes that lead, creates an opportunity, and moves on to the develop phase. In the develop phase, this is where you start working the deal, right? So you try to establish what their needs are, your solution, you've identified the stakeholders, competitors, things like that. And again, this is out of the box. Everybody's sales process is different. This one's super basic and super friendly for reps to just kick on through here, but you might want to capture a bit more data and require some of these fields, because these aren't even required at the moment. And again, all customizable. So yeah, again, lead has been converted into an opportunity. So you're an active deal that you're working. You fill out even more information, you know, their budget, company, if that's different. I don't know why that's different. That makes no sense. So mapping might be a thing there. So you just fill out additional information here that may be relevant. You get your products in here. You know, if you have a price list that's specific to customers that are in a certain area, you can choose that. And that'll filter down your options that you can add for products and the pricing that's displayed here. And that can be fed by your ERP as well. Not can be, it should be. Yep, all that math will be done for you as you add products in here. You can create quotes within Dynamics, and you can also create, let's just say, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and, yeah, you add products, whatever, it doesn't matter. All this stuff, you just fill this stuff out. So all these things here, yeah, you just fill it out, and then you can add product if you'd like. Yep, I just made that complicated because I don't have products in here for this demo environment. But so you just add products really quick, it'll list them out here. And if you want to export to PDF, you can do so right here. And again, this is a template. So what you would do essentially is, like, if you have a quote that you like, you would give me a copy, I manipulate the template, and then this would look very similar to that. Only it's done in the system, and it's not, you know, shoehorned behind some editable PDF or a Word document or whatever. It's just through the system. So very easy to do. So very simple to change the way your quotes look here. Okay, let's go back. And again, I don't want to go too much in the weeds on how quoting works, but that's how that's managed. We'll delete this one here too. Okay. Okay, so we'll just say we kick on through here. We go on to the next stage because we completed all these things. Yep, complete. Really, I should be changing those, but we're just going to, for demo purposes, skip on through here. Okay, I have completed all of the stages. Yay. And that doesn't mean I won. That just means I finished everything here. And in this case, I have actually closed this opportunity as either won or lost. If I close as won, actually we'll just do it. It's like close as lost. It'll ask me why. In this case, it'll say canceled, it'll say outsold, it'll say whatever. And you can change these. Like, I think the last one I made, it had to have been like 12 or 15 options. Like, and I get it, because you want to know exactly like why the deal was lost. But sometimes you can get lost in the details, and often some people can like hide behind the reasons they lost. Not that, of course, assume the best, but less is more. So the more concise that list can be, the better. Of course, $0 revenue because we lost. You can, if there's any competitors in place that were in this deal, you should, if you didn't already, list them in the opportunity. You could list them here, and then a description of why you lost would be there. So the competitors is cool. I'll get into that a little bit later, but that's definitely a helpful thing to keep track of. Okay, in this case, we're going to say we close this as 1 million. Okay, nope. We offered the best solution. I can't see the solution to the issue they were having. They also really liked the level of service they received. Okay. All right, so that has been 1, and now I have credit for that. Look at my closed. And we'll keep track of that. So if I ever want to review that, I can see these details here. And it's also reflected in my dashboards that I'll have created for my team. Okay, as promised, we have competitors. So competitors, I really like this. It's like, once you set this up, you don't have to come back and keep track of it. Like, you ever have like a new person come on board, you're like, all right, well, here's our competition, and here's our competition, and it's like, how are they going to keep track of that unless you give them a list? Like, it's kind of and it's one thing to like tell them like, okay, well, this is a competitor, and then it's another thing to be like, okay, well, this is a competitor, and this is what they're good at, and this is what they're a little weak at, and this is where we can really benefit from that. But it's important to kind of know both sides of the coin there, so they can really be prepared on how to present a deal. So anyway, the idea behind this is just kind of like where you have all their information in here, strengths, weaknesses, cool. Once you save the competitor, you'll have this opportunities tab. If you ever wanted to review these, it'll list out all the current deals and whatever that these competitors have been a part of, and whether or not you lost the deals. So what I love about that too is, like, again, it's no one wants to lose, but at least you can kind of see like, okay, well, this deal we went into, this was the competitor, this is why we lost. Okay, how about this one? This is the competitor, same one, this is why we lost. Okay, there's a trend here. And we can kind of address that and change our strategy to accommodate for that. So yeah, super cool. Super, super cool. Helpful not only for people that have been with the business for a while, but also the ones that are new. Very important to keep on top of the competition here. And you can create charts as well if you wanted to see like won versus lost with the competitors. You can see that here. Collateral, I'm not going to go into all that. Quotes, orders, invoices, products, sales literature. Yeah, it's all just, like I said, it's collateral. It's ancillary to the focus of a CRM, but still very important. Marketing as well, it's a whole other topic for another day, but yeah, you can create marketing lists, campaigns, quick campaigns, stuff like that. Goals, yeah, definitely very cool. So goals, I already created one earlier, just for poking around reasons. In this case, I would just create one. I would say what the name of it is, could be anything. Whether or not there's a parent goal, who owns the goal, so who is responsible for this, for executing and reaching this target. And then, of course, their managers, like who's in charge of this person. And then in this case, we'll say goal metric is revenue. There's other options, but revenue is the goal we're trying to keep track of here. It could be really anything, honestly. But in this case, goal metrics that are in place are number of units, revenue, number of cases. And like I said, revenue is probably the best option here. Time period, fiscal period, Q1 of next year. Targets, this could be anything. We'll see. 1 billion. Child goals, nope, because it's just my personal goal. Goal criteria, roll up for trial, nope. I want to see every record, so every opportunity, every order that was placed that's owned by me. Or rather, in this case, the goal owner. Notes, you can put whatever you want in here. And any participating records, so once this rolls up, every time it calculates every evening, it'll show you all the records that are contributing to the actuals number. And as you see, this is blank because there's no there's no data, but this will show you, like, you know, money that's been posted, what deals are in progress, you know, when it was last calculated, how close you are to your goal, and any kind of custom roll-up field is here. So that's tracked through here and through your tracks. So yeah, again, if I had data in here, you see the trends of this over time. And there's options to see cool different charts if you wanted to see those. I think the money one's a cool one, yeah. So this tells me, like, hey, this is how much you need to make today. It's like, yeah, I know. Oh, I'm sorry, So this will show you, like, the goal, where that's at, and where you're at today, and how much you need to make today, stuff like that. So, yeah. And this is really great whenever you see, like, department goals, you know, how that is just so. I just remember before, like, we had dynamics, is like the reps never knew, like, where they stood. It was so frustrating for everybody. No one more so than the reps, because it's like pulling teeth. They're like, I don't even know where I'm at. Like, I want to be able to, like, reach my goals, but I don't even know what the orders look like without, like, pulling teeth. So in this case, it's like right in their face. It's on their dashboard. Ideally, you'd create a dashboard that would have this information on there, so they know exactly, like, what orders have been posted. You know, what information may not be right or whatever. They can catch it right on the fly and be in the loop without having to bug anybody. It's just there. So super awesome. Definitely recommend the goals being, like, actively pursued. Yeah. So forecasts. Do I want to go too much into this? I mean, yeah, the more that you have, the more that you're using dynamics, and sometimes there's stuff that's hidden behind licensing, the forecasting and stuff like that will become more available. I typically will hide that in the beginning until your organization is ready to see that, in terms of, like, how, if you're, like, not, when I say ready, I mean, like, if there's enough data captured behind the scenes to actually make that tool useful. Cases, this is up to you to make use of this. I think it's an awesome thing, but, you know, pick your battles whenever you can. So in this case, you would create a new case. If I got a phone call, like, dude, this guy is mad. Like, customer, be mad. Don't ever call it that, that's dumb. XYZ, customer, improper shipping, or whatever the standard is. You can put a subject line in there if you want to, which customer this is relevant to, you know, where the origin was, phone, email, web, Facebook. We'll just say Twitter because it's a cesspit. Twitter, who the contact was, you know, what their entitlement. I don't have any entitlements in here, but whatever their entitlement is for this role. Any product that's relevant to this, and you can write down, like, they got the wrong item shipped to the wrong address on the wrong day, upside down, uphill, in a snowstorm. Okay, so that's what happened. All things are terrible. And that will be my case. So we need to resolve that. And much like the leads. So again, it goes back to, I love these processes because, like, it's as much as I love, like, flying, like, shooting from the hip. It's really great to have these processes because some people, like, they operate differently because it works for them, which I totally understand and I love it. But, like, at the same time, how do you scale that? You know, how do you train for that? So when you get new people, it's like one person's telling them one thing, another person's telling them to do a different thing. It's really hard to onboard people. So in this case, like, hey, whenever we have somebody call in a complaint, let's follow this process. Have I identified them? Yes. Let's go to the next stage. Okay. Have I assigned that to the proper person? We'll just, in this case, I'll just say yes. But typically, like, if this case is relevant to parts, I can send it off to parts. Or if it's relevant to, you know, claims. I guess I'm off to claims, whatever. And I would assign that to the person that's relevant here. Next stage, I have. So I've researched it. I've went ahead and resolved this. I'm going to resolve it. It's like, it's funny to like say this out loud because like you're looking at this like, okay, this is like, dude, you're not resolving anything. Research, assigned, that's not research. Resolve, what? But here you can actually have like stages in here, like, okay, well, do this X, Y, and Z, and check that off until you resolve it. Then you can hit finish. Finished. Okay. And now that I've completed the process, I can hit resolve case, or I can cancel it. Like the customer realized, oh, actually, I did say all of these things to be done, and you can cancel it. But in this case, we'll say resolve, problem solved, or information provided. So whatever it is, we'll just say resolution. We showed receipts in a professional and okay, resolve. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into the routing section here, but you can route these things depending on what the process looks like. And if you wanted to, you can also convert this to a knowledge article. Let's just say that this is like a very unique thing that can happen again for whatever reason. You can convert this to a knowledge article so that in the future, if something like this happens again, you can see exactly what was done for, you know, future reference. So you'd be like, oh, well, that's exactly what I have to do. Cool, got it. So that's cases, yeah. So this is, again, out of the box here. This is what Dynamics looks like more often than not. Oh yeah, sequences, we're not gonna go into that right now, but that is definitely an option there. Let's go back to activities. Yeah, you can pin stuff here too, so let's just say, yeah, so if I constantly go back to, I don't know, any of these things, my quotes or my activities, I can pin those items and they'll always be right here in my drop down for pins. So that's kind of cool. And let's see here, if we go to leads, right? This is true of every table that looks kind of like this. Actually, real quick, this is called the focus view, but if you change it to, I'm sorry, this is the focus view. This will show you this outline, but basically it'll have a block like this on the left, all the way down, kind of like your email is. Some people hate it, some people love it. I personally prefer table view, but you know, to each their own. And the only way to change it back, you just hit this read-only grid. It'll push you right back there, and it'll remember which one you looked at last. So it's all right there. Anyway, so this is what's called a view. So all of these column names, stuff like that, in this order, sorted in this way, filtered to whatever. That's a view. So I have all these preset things in here, and you can see if you edit filters, like what exactly is special about it. So in this case, I only want to see people with the name John Borman. And so that's my view. And it also has sorted from created on newer to older, and I saved it. So I can create as many of these as I want. Let's just say that I want to see, this is a bad example because I don't have a whole ton of stuff in here, but so let's just say that I want to edit the columns. So I want to see more information on this view. I would hit edit columns, and here's all of them. I can move them around, whatever I want them to be. Add columns. So here are all of the fields that are tied to the lead. There's a lot. So yeah, we can put job title. I just saw that in here. Job title. We can see, we'll do zip code. Okay. Put job title up here. Topic. We can move that here. And owner. The end. Okay. And then I want this to be a little smaller. Looks good. Okay, so this is now, as you can see, I have changed the view that I have here. Now I can save changes to the current view, or I can save as a new view. So I'm going to say new, or whatever. You can call it whatever you want. You can put boogaloo. You can put whatever you want. Save. So now this is I've just created another new view right here, right? So as you can see, this little default thing, this little default text, that's because I set that as the default. So if I want to set this new one that I have as the default, I just go down here and set as default view. And so now anytime I click on leads, that's my view. And then let's just say that I want to rename this thing. Oops. All right, so let's just say I want to rename this to, you would just go down to manage and share views. As you can see here, the little 3 dots, edit the info, and change the name. Save and it'll refresh. So yeah, save, and that's basically all you gotta do. But you can make as many as you want to, which is super handy, and it can change the way, data. So you could do like, I want to see people in this zip code or this county or, whatever, this one that's open, been qualified or lost, or, there's no shortage of like how you want to see the data, and you don't feel like having to sort and filter, each time you load this thing. So you can create a view that's custom for yourself to keep track of. So super handy. The one thing I will say is whenever you want to create a new view, so let's just say I just changed the view, I want to save it as new view, always change the name. I've seen it where folks will like change a bunch of stuff and they'll save it as a new view, but then they'll leave it as the exact same name. Now this won't like add a 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll just say all leads new demo, all leads new demo, all leads new demo. Like it'll say like each time. So like good luck remembering which one of these views is the one you're actually trying to see. So definitely recommend like putting a real descriptive name in there. So this is a good example of just, Cumberland and Dauphin counties, like leads that are in those counties I want to see. So, your version of Dynamics may look completely different than another person's version of it, as well as function a lot different because, I didn't really go into the whole automation side of things in here, but there is a lot of power in, what's called Microsoft Power Automate. There's also workflows and business rules and stuff like that you can create in here, which is just jargon that's detailing items within the back end. But there's a lot of power to automating your systems and processes as much as you can, and freeing your people up to do more value add activities. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you. Give you an idea of what to expect right out of the box of Dynamics. I know it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of detail, but like anything, it just takes a little time to get used to, and of course it'll be tailored to your specific needs and use cases and how your processes work. That way, it's very familiar and it makes sense to you because this is made by programmers, so it definitely reeks of that. But there's a lot of power to making this much more user-friendly and custom fit for your organization. So yeah, the idea is to make your life easier. That's the whole point of tailoring this to your specific needs, is to make your life easier. That's really making your life easier, making your customers' experience a lot better, and ultimately growing your bottom line. So I hope this was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one.